This is the updation. This deficit trend. Now from here only UPSC have asked this 2017 question. But they ask a simple question. Like they will say that in the last, see the data, this is again from the budget only I am taking this figure, okay. Now you take, this is the trend from the year 2009-10, from the year 2009-10 up till the budget 21-22. I am just taking only the, see the fiscal deficit figure. First you take the fiscal deficit figure. In 2009-10, in 2009-10, fiscal deficit touched 6.6%. Oh, why in 2009-10 fiscal deficit was very high? Because of the global financial crisis. Previous means in 2008-9 global financial crisis impact was there. The government spent a lot, tax rate cut was there, okay. Then it started 4.9, 5.9, 4.9. Then for a longer period it was on a decline. You can see that fiscal deficit was on a decline. The government done well from here onwards, 5.9, then 4.9, 4.5, 4.1, 3.9, 3.5, 3.5, 3.4, then things again. So till 18-19 it was okay. It was on a, you can say that it was on a decline. But what happened after 18-19? 19-20? Then, so this trend, note down. How UPSC will ask a question? We have seen it. They will say that in the last 5 years or in the last decade, fiscal deficit has steadily increased, or they will say fiscal deficit has steadily declined. Both the statement are wrong. There is no steady increase or steady decrease if you take the figure. Now, if the question is being asked to you in the same question, okay, that the data will be up to 2021. So if you take this, the 5-year period, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you take this 5-year period, that is from 2016-17 up till 2021, that is the data available now. And regarding 21-22, it's just a estimate. So in this 5-year, is there, you just see that, is there any steady increase or any steady decrease to any of these fiscal deficits, any of these 4 deficits? No. See, drastic increase means you cannot see. They will ask you like this if the question is like this, okay. Compared to, see, they will say that in the year 2020-21, you will be seeing that the fiscal deficit drastically increased in the financial year 2020-21. Is it correct or no? It's correct. In 2020-21, fiscal deficit has drastically increased. But in the, you cannot say that in the last 5 years, fiscal deficit continues drastically increasing, it's a wrong word. Or steadily increasing or steadily decreasing, it's all wrong. That point only you need to note down. Okay. Now, same in the case of, now only see, if the trend is following for other deficit also. Okay. And I told you they will not ask you for facts. But this year fact, please note down. This year fact, 9.5, 7.5. Okay. And even the primary deficit is also 5.9. Just for, so you can say that in the financial year, just note like this. In the financial year 2020-21, all the deficit is above 5%. If you look, even if you take the primary deficit is 5.9%. Yes or no? Just see. So, in the year 2020-21, primary deficit, effective revenue deficit, fiscal deficit is everything about 5%. We can ask question like that also. Now you cannot complain UPSC, they are asking fact. If a question comes and you are saying that it is factual, means you are supposed to know about it, because that is the biggest news about the financial year, biggest current affair about the financial year 2020-21. And also have an idea. So in the next year, that is the 21-22 budget estimate, there is a decrease is there, but not a drastic decrease. means gradual decrease. That you keep in mind. That's regarding that. This is actually the question UPSC will ask, and already UPSC have asked that too in 2017. And all the major macroeconomic indicators, these are all major macroeconomic indicators, okay. UPSC will ask the same question. They are asking not a particular year figure, they are asking about the trend, 5-year and 10-year trend. And basically they are taking either from the economic survey or from the budget. That is the figure they take. Now comes to the next, tax receipts. This is also asked. Actually in the 2017 question, one was fiscal deficit. Second statement was regarding tax receipts only, tax revenue. Now see the color, okay. First, this violet color is gross tax. I explained you what is gross tax. Total tax the center collected. In the net tax means after deducting the state share. So we are taking the trends of gross tax. So this violet color is gross tax percentage. And this figure is very important, okay. There have been some abnormality regarding this tax trends also. That can be a potential question. This I will again take in module 2 because it's about taxation, the direct tax, indirect tax, etc. But again, because it's there in the budget, I have to discuss this with you. What you have to note down. Important thing is that you can say that in the last decade, see, this is a 1 decade figure, almost 10-year figure is there. Now first important point to note down is that the total gross tax receipt have never gone beyond 12% of GDP. Very important point. See the highest gross tax receipt we received. It's in this period. 2016-17 and 17-18 period. Just for example, how they will trap you. In the last, they will say that, okay, in the last decade, the average gross tax receipt is 15% of GDP. You should not again complain. It's a wrong statement. You can say that average is, it's between 10 to 11. If they are asking like that, that statement is correct. Average, if they are asking for average. But if they are asking for trend, again there is no consistent, there is no steady increase, there is no steady decrease. Now what happened after, see, already before this lockdown financial year, see, 16-17, 17-18 was a good year in terms of tax receipts. Now slowly 18-19 slowdown started in 18-19. So, but it's okay, 11.2 to 10.9. But what happened in 19-20? 10.9 to 9.9, because in 19-20 what is the GDP growth? 4%. See, don't get confused. It's not 4.2. It is now 4%. It was revised again when? January 30th, 2021. Okay. So anyway, 4.24, it doesn't make any big difference. Okay. So from 19-20 onwards, our total percentage of gross tax receipt is in below 10. In 1920 it is 9.9%. In 2021 it is 9.8%, and in the coming year also it is nearly 9.9%. So that this 1920, 2021, 21-22 trend, note down. Now this is one important information you need to note down. Second is, see, when we say taxes are divided into two categories, direct tax and indirect tax. Okay. So the major direct taxes are income tax. Now earlier it was first was corporate tax. Now it is income tax, corporate tax. The two major direct taxes, income tax, corporate tax. When it comes to indirect tax, the major indirect tax are GST, union excise duty, customs duty. Now try to understand that this direct tax is a progressive tax. Direct tax is this word is very important. Progressive tax, I'll explain. Indirect tax is a regressive tax. Why so? Because you take your personal income tax. If you are having income only, you have to pay tax first. Income tax is only if you have income. If you don't have income, no need to pay income tax. Yes or no? And how the tax has been imposed? On a progressive way. If your income is 10 lakh and if your income is 25 lakh, the tax rate is different. And if your income, personal income is 1 crore, tax is different. So as your income grows, the tax rate will increase. The tax burden will be higher. That's why it is called as progressive tax. So the taxation has to be progressive. But what is the problem of indirect tax? Take the case of GST. GST will be the same for Ambani and for us, same. They will not treat us differently. For the poor man also, for the common man also, or the middle class man also, and for the rich man also, indirect tax is the same. So indirect tax hurt everyone. Okay. So indirect tax will not be a problem for the rich class or the upper middle class. But indirect tax is a problem for the lower middle class and the poor class. Okay. So normally the proportion of indirect tax in the total tax has to be lower. So if you look into the proportion, direct tax should be always be higher than the indirect tax. And it used to be in the last decade, but trend changed. Now why this trend changed? That is another interesting thing you need to, I'll explain. If you see this orange color is direct tax. Red color is indirect tax. Now if you look into 11, 12, it is coming around 5.6 and 4.5 percentage. Add together, you will get this. So see, same, the trend is going, okay. So direct tax is higher than indirect tax till in 15-16. What happened in 15-16? This gap, it's almost getting closer. And in 16-17, it became equal. But 17-18 again, it became normal. Direct tax is more. It continued in 18-19. 19-20 also no problem. But in this year, our focus area. What is the focus area? Financial year. This is another thing happened in the financial year 2020-21. In the indirect tax shoot means went higher than direct tax. Why? There is only one factor. There is one factor. One, obviously we know GST is there. GST is one reason which helped the indirect tax. GST, but other than GST, one silent tax is the union excise duty. See, when the government introduced GST in 2017, the initial plan was to subsume all the indirect taxes, including union excise duty. But due to some problems, certain products are still not included in GST, like petroleum products. We'll discuss, okay. But I am using the word petroleum. Why means, what happened other than the GST, why this indirect tax is higher is, the government have increased the union excise duty. The government have, that's what, on petroleum products. That's why, and the government have introduced a new cess also on petrol and diesel. Now we are having, this is a big challenge the common man is going to face. Ambani will not have any problem if the petrol rate is 100 rupees, but the common man will have a problem if the diesel touches 100. Yes or no? For Ambani also, for us also, the petrol and diesel is same. So the government is compensating the revenue loss by imposing high taxes on petroleum products, and that will create a big problem not only for the common man but also for the logistics sector, this transportation sector. Okay, so this can be a question, or they will say, they can ask you, what happened in the 2021 regarding direct tax and indirect tax proportion. So, indirect tax short is higher than the direct tax in the financial year 2021, and it is maintaining, that trend is maintaining in the 21-22 budget also, 5 and 4.9%. So this you keep in mind. Again, regarding the direct tax as well as in the indirect tax, there is no steady trend. You cannot say any steady trend. No steady increase, no steady decrease. Okay. So this point you note down. Okay. Regarding the gross tax receipts, the last decade, it has never gone beyond 12%. Highest we had is 11.2. And see the proportion. Okay. The direct tax or indirect tax. If you see that the highest the direct tax attained in it is 2018-19, direct tax touched 6% of GDP. So that trend you note down. Everything is covered when the finance minister, these things, all these data is from our budget 21-22. Okay, if UPSC asks question, this is the main source. Either this figure or this source which was presented by the finance ministry or the economic survey. Now this actually for your, see how UPSC asks question. Now if you are aware how UPSC asks question, then things become easy for us. See, from where this question was asked, from this figure only. Tax revenue as percentage of GDP of India, as percentage of GDP of India, has steadily increased in the last decade. Wrong statement. Fiscal deficit as the percentage GDP of India has steadily increased in the last decade. That is also a wrong statement. So answer is neither one nor two.